Have you ever felt like she's playing with your heart? One moment she's showering you with attention, music texts filled with warmth, playful conversations, and promises that make you feel like you're the center of her world. Then suddenly, everything changes. She grows cold, distant, and leaves you second-guessing yourself, your worth, and even your sanity. You sit there, music, replaying every word, every interaction, trying to figure out what went wrong. Did you say something? Music do something? Or worse, is this all part of some game, an emotional chess match where you feel like a pawn? The confusion, the frustration, the self-doubt, it's enough to drive anyone to the brink. But let me tell you something powerful. You don't have to play the game at all. Welcome to Stoic Blessing, where we merge ancient wisdom with modern insights to help you navigate life, music, and relationships with unshakable clarity and strength. Today, music, we're diving deep into what to do when someone plays with your heart and how you can rise above these games with the mindset of a true Stoic. Before we go further, take a music moment to reclaim your inner strength. Drop a comment below with the phrase, "I am in control of my emotions." Write it, feel it, believe, music it. This is your first step in reminding yourself that no one, not her, not anyone, has the power to dictate music your peace. Now let's get one thing straight. Life is full of people who test your boundaries, intentionally or unintentionally. Some do music it to see how far they can push you. Others do it out of insecurity, music seeking control over you because they don't have control over themselves. Whatever the reason, the result is the same. They pull you into their game, discover more language support services eggs, cooking fats and oils, leaving you chasing after answers, approval, or validation. The problem isn't that she's playing games. The problem is that you're letting her draw you into them, and that's where the power of Stoicism comes in. Stoicism teaches us a simple but profound truth. You can't control what others do, but you can control how you respond. Imagine this. Instead of reacting to her coldness with desperation or her mixed signals with frustration, you remain calm, composed, music, and indifferent. You let her actions roll off your back because you understand that her behavior doesn't define you, it defines her. This is what it means to rise above. It's not about outsmarting her or trying to beat her at her own game, it's about stepping out of the game entirely. When you stop reacting, you take away her power. When you refuse to let her behavior control your emotions, you become music untouchable. Here's the truth most people miss. Those who play games are seeking a reaction. The moment you stop giving it to them, the game ends. The power dynamic shifts, and suddenly, they're the ones left wondering, questioning, music, and overthinking. But to achieve this, you need to cultivate a mindset of inner strength. You need to focus on what matters, your purpose, your growth, and your peace. Because at the end of the day, no relationship, no person is worth sacrificing your self-respect for. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn in this video will not only protect your heart, but will also transform the way you approach every relationship in your life. You'll see that the real power doesn't come from winning games, it comes from being so grounded, so confident, and so focused on your own life that you don't need to play them at all. Why does she play with your heart? Why does she send mixed signals, hot one moment and cold music the next? To truly rise above her games, you first need to understand why they happen. Emotional games aren't random. Music, they serve a purpose, whether consciously or subconsciously. Here's the harsh truth. Emotional games are about power. At their core, music, they're an attempt to establish control. When someone plays with your emotions, it's often because they feel unsure of their own. They're testing you, looking for reassurance, or trying to validate their own self-worth by seeing how far they can push you while still keeping you hooked. Think about it. When someone pulls away, they're gauging your reaction. If you chase after them, music, it signals to them that they hold power over you. If you become desperate for their attention, music, it confirms that you're willing to sacrifice your peace for their approval. And in their mind, this validates their control. But not all emotional games are intentional. Sometimes they come from insecurity. Maybe she's afraid of being vulnerable, so she uses distance or hot and cold behavior as a shield. Or maybe she's unsure of her feelings and uses mixed signals to keep her options open. Regardless of the reason, the result is the same. You're left feeling powerless. This is why understanding the nature of emotional games is so important. When you realize that her behavior is more about her than it is about you, you stop taking it personally. You begin to see her actions for what they truly are, a reflection of her own struggles, not a reflection of your worth. This is where Stoicism becomes your greatest ally. The Stoics believed that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control how we respond to them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment of them, and it is in your power to wipe out that judgment now." When someone plays games, your first instinct might be to react. Music, either by confronting them, chasing them, or withdrawing completely. But reacting emotionally only fuels the game. It gives them exactly what they're looking for, a response that proves they, music, have power over you. Instead, the Stoic approach is to observe, not absorb. See her behavior for what it is, but don't let it control your emotions. When you remain calm and detached, you, music, disrupt the power dynamic. Suddenly, she's left wondering why her games aren't working, and that shift in energy, music, changes everything. Here's the key. Emotional games only work on people who are willing to play. When you refuse to participate, music, you take away her power. You rise above the cycle of hot and cold, of chasing and pulling back, and you reclaim control over your own peace. If this resonates with you, drop a comment below with the phrase, "I am above the game." Let this be your declaration that you refuse to let anyone toy with your emotions. Now, you might be wondering, if I stop reacting, won't she just leave? The answer is simple. If someone only stays in your life because you're playing their game, then they were never truly invested in you. True connection doesn't require manipulation. It thrives on mutual respect, trust, and honesty. When someone plays with your heart, it's easy to feel like a victim, caught in a web of their mixed signals and mind games. But what if I told you that you have more power than you think? That in fact, their attempts at manipulation are an opportunity to strengthen your own resolve and grow into the most grounded version of yourself. This is the Stoic perspective. What others do is beyond your control, but how you respond is where your music true power lies. The Stoics believed that life is full of challenges meant to test us, and manipulation is one of them. Whether it's intentional or born from insecurity, when someone tries to control your emotions, they're presenting you with a choice. Will you react impulsively, giving them the power they seek? Or will you rise above, staying composed and rooted in your values? Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once music wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you approach manipulation with this mindset, everything changes. Instead of seeing her games as an attack, music, you see them as noise, something external, separate from your inner peace. So, what does this look like in practice? Music. Let's say she ignores your texts or pulls away after showing interest. Your instinct might be to overanalyze, to chase her attention, or to confront her in frustration. But the Stoic way is to pause. Instead of music reacting, you reflect. You ask yourself, what is within my control right now? The answer is always the same. Music, your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. By choosing not to react, you send a powerful message, not to her, but to yourself. You're telling yourself, I am in control of my life, music, and I refuse to let anyone else dictate how I feel. This shift in mindset is the foundation of emotional freedom. Now let's talk about why this works. Music manipulation thrives on chaos. It relies on you losing your composure, second-guessing yourself, and acting out of desperation. But when you remain calm and indifferent, music, the manipulator loses their grip. They can't shake you because you've built your strength from within. And that composure, it's magnetic. It's the energy of someone who is grounded, confident, and untouchable. This doesn't mean you ignore red flags or let someone walk all over you. Stoicism isn't about passivity. Music, it's about intentionality. If someone's behavior crosses your boundaries, you address it with clarity and firmness, not out of anger, but out of respect for yourself. When you operate from this place of self-respect, you naturally command respect from others. If this resonates with you, drop a comment below with the phrase, "I control my reactions, not their actions." Let this be your reminder that your peace is non-negotiable. Here's the real beauty of the Stoic perspective. When you stop reacting to manipulation, you create space for genuine connection. People who play games will either realize they can't control you and step up, or they'll leave, freeing you to focus on relationships built on mutual respect and honesty. One of the most liberating truths you'll ever learn is this: you are not your emotions. You experience them, but they do not define you. When someone plays with your heart, it's easy to feel consumed by the roller coaster of highs and lows, joy when they show interest, frustration when they pull music away, and despair when they're cold. But emotional detachment is the key to stepping off that roller coaster and reclaiming music your power. Let's clarify something. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you become cold or indifferent. Music, it means you care without clinging. It means you value yourself enough music to not let someone else's inconsistent behavior dictate your self-worth or emotional stability. This is music, the essence of true strength. In Stoicism, detachment is rooted in the idea of focusing only on what you can control. You cannot control her actions, her mood swings, or her games, but you can control how you interpret those actions and how you choose to respond. Music. The moment you let go of the need to control her behavior, you set yourself free. Here's what detachment looks like in action. Imagine she starts pulling away after a period of intense connection. Instead of panicking or chasing her attention, you pause. You remind yourself, her actions do not define my value. You redirect your focus inward on your goals, your passions, your own peace. This isn't easy, especially when your emotions are screaming for answers, but that's the power of detachment. It allows you to create a buffer between your feelings and your actions. You acknowledge the emotions without letting them take control. You say to yourself, yes, I feel hurt. Yes, I feel confused, but I will not let these feelings drive me to act out of desperation. The more you practice this, the stronger you become. Over time, you'll notice something remarkable. The less you react to her games, the less power they have over you. And the more grounded and self-assured you become, the more others will respect and be drawn to you. Detachment also has another powerful effect. Music. It creates mystery. When you don't immediately react, when you don't chase after her or demand answers, you disrupt music, the pattern she's used to. She begins to wonder why her actions don't affect you the way they do others. That intrigue, that music curiosity, is what draws her or anyone closer. But remember, detachment is not a tactic to manipulate her. It's a tool to protect your peace. The goal is not to make her chase you, but to create space for yourself to grow, music to heal, and to focus on what truly matters: your purpose, your happiness, and your self-respect. Music. If this resonates with you, drop a comment below with the phrase, "I care without clinging." Let this be your affirmation that your strength comes from within, not from anyone else's approval. Detachment doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice. Music, a choice you make daily to prioritize your own peace over external chaos. But once you master it, you'll find that you're no longer swayed by mixed signals or mind games. You'll stand firm, confident, music, and unshakable, exactly the kind of person who commands respect and admiration. To rise above her games, you must first understand them. Emotional manipulation isn't random. It's calculated, whether consciously or subconsciously. The key lies in recognizing the psychological tactics being used so you can see them for what they are and refuse to be drawn into the trap. This is where dark psychology comes into play. One of the most common tactics is the hot and cold approach. She showers you with attention, texts, and affection one day, making you feel like the most important person in her world. But the next day, she pulls away. She's distant, unresponsive, music, or even cold. Why? Because this inconsistency triggers a psychological phenomenon called intermittent reinforcement. Intermittent reinforcement is a powerful tool often used in manipulation. It's the same principle that makes gambling so addictive. When rewards, in this case her affection, are unpredictable, your brain becomes hyper-focused on chasing them. The uncertainty creates a craving for validation, making you more invested in her attention than you would be if it were consistent. Another tactic is gaslighting. This happens when she downplays music or denies her own actions to make you question your perception of reality. For instance, if you call out her mixed signals, she might music respond with, "You're overthinking," or "I didn't mean it that way," leaving you doubting your own feelings. Gaslighting is designed to keep you off balance and dependent on her for clarity. Then there's triangulation. This is when she subtly introduces a third person into the dynamic. Music perhaps mentioning how someone else is interested in her or how she admires someone else's traits. The goal? To make you feel insecure and to provoke you into competing for music, her attention. Understanding these tactics is crucial because manipulation thrives in confusion. Music. When you don't see the game, you become a pawn in it. But the moment you recognize these behaviors for what they are, you disrupt their power. You stop internalizing her actions as a reflection of your worth and start seeing them as a reflection of her own insecurities or need for control. Here's the key takeaway. Manipulation only works if you engage. If you react to her hot and cold behavior, seek clarity after gaslighting, or compete for her attention, you're giving her the response she wants. But when you stay calm, music detached, and composed, you render these tactics useless. This is where Stoicism becomes your shield. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." In this context, it means refusing to stoop to the level of manipulation. Instead, you respond with clarity, boundaries, and unwavering self-respect. Music. For example, when she pulls away, don't chase her. When she gaslights, stand firm in your perception. When she tries triangulation, remind yourself that your worth isn't tied to competing for anyone's attention. By doing this, you reclaim your power and rise above the chaos. If this resonates with you, drop a comment below with the phrase, "I see through the games." Let this be your affirmation that you're no longer a participant. You're an observer, grounded and unshakable. Music. The beauty of understanding dark psychology is that it gives you clarity, and with clarity comes power. The power to protect your peace, to stand firm in your value, and to navigate relationships with confidence, music, and strength. When someone plays with your emotions, the natural instinct is to react. Music. Maybe you lash out in frustration, send a series of texts, music demanding answers, or withdraw completely in an attempt to protect yourself. But here's the truth. Overreaction is exactly what they're hoping for. It feeds the game, reinforces their control, and shifts the power dynamic further in their favor. Why does overreaction work against you? Because it signals emotional instability. When you react impulsively, whether music, it's anger, desperation, or confusion, you're telling them that their actions have power over you. Music. You're showing that your peace, your confidence, and your sense of self are tied to how they treat you. And once they see that, they know they can keep pushing your buttons to get the reaction they want. This is why staying calm in the face of manipulation is music so powerful. When someone tries to provoke you and you don't respond emotionally, music, you disrupt their strategy. Instead of feeling in control, they start questioning themselves. Why isn't this working? Why aren't they reacting like I expected? Your calmness becomes their discomfort, and the dynamic begins to shift. Let's break this down with a common example. Imagine she suddenly goes silent after a long period of attention. You feel the anxiety creep in. Why isn't she responding? What did you do wrong? The urge to double text or demand an explanation can feel overwhelming. But what happens when you give in? Music. You reinforce her behavior. She sees that pulling away gets your attention, making her feel validated and in control. Now imagine a different response. Instead of reacting, you stay calm. You give her space, focus on your own life, and resist the urge, music, to seek answers. Suddenly, the script flips. She wonders why you're not chasing her, why her silence doesn't seem to bother you. That curiosity pulls her back toward you, not because you manipulated her, but because your calmness is a reflection of your strength. The Stoics understood this principle well. Seneca wrote,